Hello friends, vinyl community, music lovers, welcome to another new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. I know it's been a very long time since we've done one of these. Needed a little bit of a break and been doing some other things and been thinking about some changes for this series a little bit. So let me know down below in the comments whether you want to see more albums, whether you want to hear more information about each album. What kind of things would you like to see in this series? Do you even care about sort of the more common albums? Do you want me to just talk about more interesting albums that are more rare or whatnot? So those of you who are new subscribers who may not have seen this series yet, this is where I talk about albums that are new to my ears, that I haven't heard, the stuff that I bought that are in my inbox, which is quite vast. Several hundred albums, if not more than 1,000. Just pull things out sort of in the order they were purchased. So a lot of the albums I'm listening to now I bought 3 or 4 years ago. Just that's how much I bought. I just pull them out, clean them up, listen to them, and let you know what I thought of them. Let you know if I think they're good. You know, I buy things that I think are interesting, and sometimes they are, and sometimes they aren't. So let's just go ahead and get into this new episode. I'm not even sure what number we're on, 50 something. Anyway, the first thing we have here is a soundtrack from 1970. This is a soundtrack to the movie The Strawberry Statement. Sort of an anti-war protest kind of movie. A little bit of a taking advantage of, monetizing, trying to make money off of the sort of peace movement, the hippie movement, the anti-war movement. So not the greatest as far as being a good movie or anything, but just an interesting piece of history, an interesting take on things. I have not seen the movie yet. I do want to see it at some point if I can find it. Interesting soundtrack, as you see a lot of CSNY songs, Neil Young songs. You got Buffy St. Marie on here. This is on MGM Records, blue and gold label. Yeah, just an interesting soundtrack, interesting piece of history. Mostly just a sort of compilation of songs from mainly CSNY, Neil Young, you know, those guys, with a few other things thrown in, some instrumental pieces, and a piece where the cast is singing "Give Peace a Chance," which I guess is part of the movie at some point. You know, there's a crowd of people singing "Give Peace a Chance." So yeah, just an interesting piece of history, and I kind of enjoyed this, so I'm going to be keeping this in the collection. Alright, next thing is a piece that I bought pretty recently, actually. A lot of times the newer stuff that I buy makes it into the Survivor series pretty quickly, just because, you know, when I buy something new I want to listen to it. So this is a release from the Numero group. This is from Iasos, I-A-S-O-S. Is the name of the artist, and this is called Celestial Soul Portrait. It's a compilation of his work. He started in the 70s and all the way up to now, I believe. Iasos is a sort of a new age, I don't want to say new age in a derogatory way, but sort of a very peaceful, calming, soothing sound. He's a flutist, so he plays the flute, but he also incorporates some manipulation to the flute and different sound works, found sounds, sort of cut and spliced together, and just some very interesting sound work, basically. So this is a release from the Numero group, number 49. Here's the gatefold, and there's what he looks like. And it gives a very detailed sort of background on his history and how he started. Just some very interesting liner notes. So really nice packaging on this one. The sound quality on the Numero group, on this particular one anyway, it's quite noisy in my opinion. It's kind of disappointing that they have this really beautiful packaging. The pressing is not great. I know for probably some of their more soulful, you know, they tend to do a lot more soul and blues and sort of, you know, louder, crunchier kind of musics, which wouldn't be so bad with a little bit of pop and crackle, but this is instrumental, very soft, very subtle music, and any kind of noise, surface noise, is very detracting from it. So unfortunately, it doesn't work so well here. The inner sleeves also feature some other photographs of Iasos. And this just has, you're not even going to hardly be able to see the labels on this, but it's just a a black label with some brown lettering on it. Yeah, the music is really awesome on this. I really love how soothing and relaxing and calming and peaceful the music is. Something great to put on at night when you're going to sleep if you had a rough day, or just if you've had a rough day in general and you want to put on something really soothing and peaceful and serene. This is definitely really good musically. So I definitely appreciate it. Maybe something to get digitally. That's Iyaso's Celestial Soul Portrait, numero group number 49. And that one is staying in the collection, as I said. I like it. I enjoyed it. I wish the pressing was better. It was good nonetheless. The music is, like I said, the music is very good. The pressing, not so great. I like the packaging. Don't like the pressing. Okay, the next thing is a live album from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. This is the Pictures at an Exhibition. This was actually recorded between their first and second album, the debut self-titled album, and Tarkus. This was recorded in between those two albums, but was released after Tarkus. So it's basically the third release from the band, from 1972, I believe. This is on Cotillion. This is a record club pressing, I guess, is from what I've discovered on Discogs. Not sure what record club pressing means. I guess it was, I don't know if they were doing record clubs back in the early 70s as far as, 12 records for a penny or whatever, that kind of thing, but I guess maybe there were. So this is on Cotillion, the light blue marbled labels. So Pictures at an Exhibition is more of a classical piece from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Very, very musical. Not too much in the way of lyrics. A lot of Keith Emerson's keyboard work. I guess there's all kinds of. He plays on organ. He plays synthesizers. It's Keith Emerson. He plays everything, anything with keys on it, he'll play it, and that's kind of how this album is. Lots and lots of keyboard noodly kind of stuff. A little bit too noodly, in my opinion. I did not enjoy this as much as some of the other Emerson, Lake and Palmer stuff. Just got to be kind of tiring by the end of it. I was just. I want to hear something other than just Keith Emerson. This is almost like a Keith Emerson album rather than Emerson, Lake and Palmer album. But it's still pretty good, enjoyable, maybe taken in parts, but as a whole piece, I didn't really appreciate it that much. But still, definitely going in my collection. I do enjoy Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and as I said, parts and pieces of this I enjoy, but just a little too noodly for me, I guess. Okay, this next piece I'm going to talk about is an album I purchased at the Jacksonville Collector Show, the Retro-Rama collectible show they have, and it was a piece I bought just basically on the cover. It looked interesting. It was $5, so a little bit more pricier than I normally would spend on something I don't know what it is at all, but it just looked really good. Looked like something I should pick up, and I actually ended up really loving this a lot. And this is the Poppers with Magic People. And the Poppers are from Canada. They're from Toronto, Canada. A pop psych group, leaning more towards the heavier psych stuff. Looks like it would be very poppy, but it's actually pretty darn psyche. I was really appreciative of that. I like the more heavier psych sounds, and this. It's not heavy. It's not really heavy psych, but it is definitely not as poppy as you would expect based on the cover and the pictures. But really, really awesome. I definitely recommend picking this up if you find it. Really cool group. One of those discoveries I've had, and I've really enjoyed listening to this a lot. It starts off with the track Magic People, and the whole album is really good. I mean, it's just a good album. So, and the Poppers are on the Verve Forecast label. And this was a really nice pressing of this, really nice clean condition. So that was another reason I was willing to spend $5 and take a risk on this, and I'm really glad I did. So, the Poppers, if you see them, grab it. Really cool if you like pop psych or just psych in general. Really good stuff. Great band. Alright, and the last album we're going to talk about today is the second album from OMD, Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. This is called Organization from 1980. Definitely, if you're not familiar with OMD, they're a synth pop band. A little bit earlier on, they were a little bit on the darker side, definitely on the darker, more emo side of things. Later on, they got more commercial, more poppy. But this is their second album, and I find it to be very dark, very brooding, very emo, almost depressing. If in that way, I don't like the lyrics or the vocals on this at all. I like the instrumentation. They're very interesting synth work on here, very interesting compositions, but the lyrics are just downright depressing. I didn't care for that at all. And this is a German pressing on Din Disc. So yeah, this is a keeper as well. I bought this at the Florida Folk Festival. It was $5 as well. Sort of a random find, and I picked this up and brought it home, and it's another piece for my OMD collection. As I said, it's too depressing for me. I like more upbeat sounding kind of stuff. It can be dark musically, but lyrically it just sounds dark to me, and I didn't care for it. But I'm going to be keeping it nonetheless, just because it's OMD, and I do like them, and I like the music on here. I have to be able to tune out the vocals. Maybe this is something that would be good for me as background music when I'm cooking or cleaning or doing something else. So that's a new episode of the Vinyl Survivor. We got sunlight streaming in here, and the lighting, my exposure is all off, so sorry about that. But I hope you enjoyed this new episode, and just wanted to say hi and say I'm still here. I'm not, it's been a while since I've done one of these. It's been a while since I've done a video. So I thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe if you're not, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.